backyard projects, which are actually giving a lot of pressure on these pipes and storages. There's no detailed plan how we're going to deal with that. CCTV camera, you only mentioned on the IDP, Hanover Park. Top 6 of the top 10 townships in South Africa that have crime, which are supposed to be here, Google it. You know, it's not here. Those areas need to have CCTV cameras immediately, with immediate effect. We don't see them there. We have a problem. You go to safe school projects, traffic calming measures is only when the black child dies that you will see a traffic calming measure being built in the street. Yes, it's a fact. It's a fact. We know that. I'm almost finished. We can carry on and talk about how inclusive we are, how well run we are, and how caring we are. We will not be seen as caring as long as we still have our pensioners, elders, who own houses, and when they are banned in those houses, they build small shacks at the back of the banned house to survive. They can't rebuild the house. This city has got the proof of those things happening in our township, and nothing's been done. You care. You care for what? As the ANC was saying, we're not in support of this IDP because it smells fishy. Thank you, sir.
Councillor Simons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The IDP is a definite plan of the DA and not the community as a whole in the city of Cape Town. This is a copy and paste of the 4th administration of the DA-controlled municipality and does not adhere to the most important segment of IDP, which is public participation. EFF inputs which address the needs of the community was given. There is no indication by the city whether it will be considered. It just stated noted. There is a flaw. This is not meaningful public participation where community comments and no further response is given, but just a noted. The poor attendance, if we look at population in the city, is a clear indication that critical needs of the community are not being addressed. Mr. Speaker, something is definitely wrong. Who is the city caring for or catering for? Has there been radical changes since the public participation process? We find ourselves having more protests, volatile situations because of service delivery. An IDP must address ward-based needs, meaning all wards in the city. This is an IDP with which affluent in the city will gladly agree with, but it excludes majority of the people in the city. Transformation of township and human settlement in economically and socially integrated neighborhoods, including opportunities for state-subsidized and social housing in the inner city, is critical and needs urgent attention. Building integrated community means proactively and directly working to reverse the impact and practices of apartheid. The city intention to build a more inclusive city to address the legacy of apartheid by introducing a new spatial transformation strategy has failed. EFF wants to see more inclusive societies working towards greater economic freedom for all. To enhance services delivered in the city, urgent intervention is needed to redress the imbalances of the past. People of the city must never feel excluded and must know that the city is working for them and is accountable to them and is always responding to their needs. We also, as the EFF, we would like to see the following, that the municipal services are directly and closely to the people. The eradication of pota pota, to allocate houses for free, abolish all informal settlement and backward dwellers and provide adequate houses. CCTV cameras, not only in high crime areas, but in all areas because crime affects all areas. The insourcing of workers that perform municipal work and function, which includes security guards, cleaners, removal workers, drivers. The provision of free water and electricity to grown, indigent, and all recipients of old age, a human death in all wards. This is just but a few of the demands of residents. Citizens are still living in inhumane conditions. With this being said, the EFF is against the approval of the IDP.
Thank you. Councillor Haskell.
Thank you, Speaker. The public participation process seems to have improved in many respects. And for that we congratulate the city. But, there's always room for improvement. The ACDP is pleased to note that literally thousands of people had their say using the online opportunities provided. But we see that very few civic organizations and ratepayers associations had anything to say. In fact, the vast majority of these organizations didn't comment at all. It should also be noted that the IDP focus group sessions late last year were not very well attended, and that the vast majority of the inputs received focused on making operational proposals relating to their immediate community, and very few had anything to say about the 5-year strategic focus of the IDP itself. In Mitchell's Plain, for example, only around 300 people attended the focus group session, the majority of whom do not even live in Mitchell's Plain. It would have helped a lot if organizations were invited to participate based on their particular area of expertise. Consider the number of professional institutes, university departments, private companies, research and policy institutes, etc., in all the sectors of society that the IDP touches, and then consider that only around 14 of these entities actually commented. Once again, their professional expertise is lost to the 5-year IDP. Consider the many vital long-term strategic matters that the IDP addresses, including water security, food security, safety and security, environmental and development issues, economic development, personal, family and community development, and note the complete lack of strategic IDP input by the public in most of these areas, by most of these professional organizations, universities, the private sector, the research institutes, etc. So on the face of it, Speaker, considering the very small number of inputs received that deal with the strategic nature of the 5-year IDP, which is the very purpose of the public participation process at all, the IDP is little more than a top-down political document that excludes professional expertise in the areas most needed, and thus the ACDP cannot support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, item 6. Do we agree with the recommendations? No. Councillor Satashi? Councillor Haskell?
Speaker, can you just record our vote against it, then we find. Thank you.
The vote of the ACDP against it. Councillor Satashi?
As directed by Councillor Sudan, with all the issues that he has raised, we can't support this fake IDP.
Councillors, the item will go to the vote. Would you like to respond, Mayor?
Yeah, I haven't. You got
There was one where they listed the input from the portfolio in their March and April meetings.
Did you receive?
But it was in a small little volume. Like this thing.
Okay. Councillors, those in favour of the IDP, please vote yes. Those against, no. And then abstentions.
It's not a crisis. It's another way of describing basically the portfolio company, universities and utilities, etc., whatever they call it. They proposed changes. And the one thing they said was that...
Thank you. Those in favour, 139. Against, 51. Abstentions, there's no abstention. Then the IDP is accepted by Council. Councillors, the city manager has indicated that he will bring an urgent matter to Council tomorrow, and the documentation will be handed out this afternoon while you are here in Council. It's an urgent matter that the city manager will bring to Council. Okay. Councillors, we now move to section 5, which deal with the budget and related reports. Before I call on the Executive Mayor to deliver a budget speech, I have determined in terms of Rule 8.3 that the recommendation in respect of item 7, which was circulated as a confidential matter, is now an open document. Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. turn down which the next minutes word by
I
word.
start with the draft budget. A lot
I
of
must
things
summarize
have
all
been
of it, my dear, but it doesn't.
public participation is a legal compliance issue. We have received more than 24,000 comments. But the point that I want to make is that the responsibility to encourage the public to participate in government documents is rests with every single councillor. It is up to the respective parties to make sure that their support base and their constituencies are informed about the IDP. We are not here the council representing our delegates, we are here representing constituencies. So to claim that we have not done public participation is wrong. But also, sometimes people should also learn from history and from their mistakes. Now, the ANC claims to be representing the poor. Let me remind them, in 2016, they had 33%. They came up with 26. 7% of the poor people in the city of Cape Town dropped them. And now they have just voted against a document, the IDP, that makes provision for the poor people in the city. We received 66.6% of the vote. We're going after the 23% in the next 5 years. Mr. Speaker, when I tabled the draft budget in March, I said that it was truly the first of its kind for the city of Cape Town as we demonstrate the implementation of the Organizational Development and Transformation Plan principles and objectives. So, Mr. Speaker, before us today is the proposed budget for 2017-18 with 6.8 billion rand for capital expenditure and an operating budget of 37.5 billion rand. I would like to start with an issue which I know has been concern for many Cape Townians who are struggling to make ends meet. The draft budget proposed the implementation of the home user trade tariff for properties valued at over 1 million. The home user tariff has an 8.21 per day service fee, 250 rand per month. And as a result of the widespread input from the public, we have listened and we have taken the decision not to implement the home user tariff. This means that consumers in properties above the value of 1 million will be made under domestic tariff. There was great concern about the implementation of this charge, with over 1,000 comments received, and we have listened. I have advised the Energy Department to make implementation of this tariff. This is a demonstration of our commitment to the ODTP to be a more responsive and customer-centric government.
Order, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor. People in the gallery, please take off those. Can you please remove the people? Please.
Speaker, we can't have people throwing things off the gallery. This is unacceptable.
Oh, grow up!
in the name of control.